the end of that last one, man. No disrespect to that brother, man. I still don't know his name. I probably should have looked it up while I was over there, but I don't. This ain't no. You like I said, if you grew up in the '90s, you know what I'm talking about, man. That nigga, you know. I keep wanting to say they did him dirty, but really, he kind of did himself dirty. It's like, bro, why would you keep taking the? You have to be conscious of these. You can't keep taking the fucking role of the fucking. And he ain't even. Some niggas, bro. I'll say this much. Some not niggas. I'm just generally speaking. Some people just look like villains. They just have this, and they might be good people in real life or whatnot. We don't want to. We want to. You don't want to mark them out like that, but like I said, I'll finish get the name and name. But some of these guys just have they just look like the villain. It's like you have a villain face. You look like you supposed to be in a goddamn the kidnapper or some shit. But this nigga ain't even that. He get the, he was for the fact that he played so many goddamn fucked up niggas. He don't even have a villain face. He just played the motherfucking role so many times. You just like in real life. A nigga keep doing whole ass shit over and over and over. You have to say, oh, that nigga's a whole ass nigga. He might redeem himself at 60 or some shit. I'll let me later, buddy. You just, who knows? But this nigga don't even, the same thing with the movie. You keep, like I said, it's to the power. And I know better. But even I would be handing the holster if that nigga walked in the room. Oh yeah, this nigga come. Oh yeah, gotta remember them just movies, Sam. How you doing, buddy? That nigga there, bro. Yeah, man. But this shit is on fire because I did not know it was Joe Jackson's birthday. I had no peace to Joe Jackson, man, but I had no fucking idea that today. I just went online and scrolling Instagram and see somebody post what seemed the Jackson's family page post happy birthday to Joe. So happy birthday to Joe. Man. We ain't he's in the spirit realm now. So like I said, I'm trying not to. I kind of have a depending on the circumstances when people are released from the physical body and they go into the next realm. I kind of you kind of have to let shit go or whatever. Not necessarily saying turn a blind eye or like I said, that was some motherfuckers though, like motherfuckers that are just straight up enemies to the certain times. I pop up certain motherfuckers. We ain't going to name, but it's certain. Joe ain't one of them, even though I was one of them niggas and watching the movie, like, I ain't gonna lie, bro. To be honest with you, I was like the nigga that jumped up in the irate in the movie. The nigga that I was telling you about. That nigga, I'm telling you, if you had to be there to see this shit, that nigga was mad. Oh, hell no. Everybody, that's how the motherfucker, and it wasn't the crowd, the theater wasn't necessarily crowded. But when that nigga started whooping Mike, niggas was like, oh no. Hell no. But I was one of them, but I ain't gonna lie, I'm an understanding guy. Don't get me wrong, but I damn near want to fight that. I'm gonna be honest, bro. I look at this shit, I was like, I have to, this is my people, it's just like this is pop, so that's why I don't even, it's hard for me to say it, but I'll be honest. I kind of want to fight, bro, when I was in the shop. It took a lot for me to get them thoughts out my head. But I didn't know. I didn't really keep the joke in context, but I'm serious. Everybody was hot. They was like, whoa, hold the fuck up. But, shout out to Joe Jackson. But I will say this much: when he, when I remember when he made the transition, I didn't like the fact, but then again, I guess that's my inner modern day whatever the fuck these niggas. We come from an era with like I'll tell you what happened. Somebody posted a meme of there was some shit like when Joe passed, it was like Mike was in heaven and Joe was coming through the heaven's gate. Mike was like looking at him. Some shit I can't remember. Some wild shit like that. I didn't like that though. But I was like, I ain't like. But it's only so much I can say because I can't. That's just my personal thing. But at the end of the day, I'm from the '90s. We grew up in that era, so that really and truly that ain't even that mean. I don't know. I guess I'm sensitive when it comes to Mike. I don't know. Pause, but that's my boy, man. But just like I'm quite sure of everybody else. But anything, even though Joe, him and Joe had their thing going on, I didn't like that joke. Not to say it's a bad thing, because like I said, at the end of the day, we dealing with comedy and shit, dirty jokes and all that shit come with the game or whatever. So when somebody do something within the context of some shit can go. That was really coming from the world we come from. I don't know about this, this new modern shit. Everybody all sensitive. I'm not one of those, but I guess I can say I had one of those millennial. I think what they call it before today, millennials or some shit. I guess I had a personal millennial moment with that because that's really some light work compared to we come from the fucking '90s with Def Comedy Jam. Shit, even before that, Red Fox, Moms Mabley, and shit, Bernie. You heard, but you laughed at it. You know what I'm saying? You heard way worse shit than that little meme and shit. But I guess I was having a sensitive moment or some shit like whatever. Because growing up, we'd heard all kind of Mike and Joe and Mike jokes and shit, the way crazier than that. So that wasn't nothing. Really was nothing but from the '90s shit from somebody from the fucking '90s. Well, somebody who grew up around it. Not just the '90s, but just when you come to comedy, we're talking about just somebody from pre-millennial or just pre-bullshit, pre-sensitive motherfucker mode where you can't do shit without motherfuckers talking about canceling and shit. Somebody from that era probably fucking posted that shit. I had no idea. And the crazy part about it was before I started that last video, I was thinking about Millie Jackson, another MJ Jackson. But I was thinking about her because somebody it was a podcast or something, and they were talking about how people were so critical about what the girls today are rapping about, whatever. And now I have my critiques on it, but not like that. My thing is, all I'm be saying is, I don't even have that much of room. Even if I wanted to be as critical as other people may be. Now I have my critique, but my thing always is just have some type of balance. And I can't tell you not to rap about hoeing and shaking your funky Y2C. All I'm saying is to have some type of guidance with this shit, man, to where, especially now, you have to have, because this is not, you might say, well, what about Kim and all them in the man? Like, yeah, but this is a different era. We didn't have the internet back then. So this shit, Kim was doing fucking album and shit, but when she sat down in the interview, she was in the interview talking about, well, nigga got it was like a fucking balance, you know what I'm saying? You would hear the music and shit, but then now you got the music, then you got the fucking girls who ain't even doing music, promoting shit, promoting, shit, and interviews, and we live in an age now where at least with the girls we came up with, they had an audience based off the fact that they were musicians or whatever. But this, their fame and notoriety and shit, it came via a talent. So with them, I guess you say as well as the female artists today, but more so with them, you had at least the girl could say, well, you know what, I want to rap. I may not necessarily want to, be a hoe. I may not necessarily want to rap about being a hoe, even though my favorite female rapper does it, or, you had an alternative just within the thing. And even would say, well, the girls today is like that too, but it's like, yeah, same thing with them. They doing it with a talent, but they have I guess you could say a doublet or a twin thing with this internet shit. It's another aspect of it where you have the girls that, what they call them, 304s and shit. You got them who are popular just for being quote-unquote influencers, whatever the fuck that means. Influencers or socialites. So when we was growing up, to be a socialite, you had to be a Hollywood figure or attached to somebody in Hollywood or attached to somebody in the music industry. Now you have socialites just straight up coming out of nowhere because they look good. They just put on enough makeup and fix their hair right, get a boob job, ass job, and sit their ass down in front of the camera and be like, yeah, I make men pay me $400 million to suck my titties. So shit. You got a whole goddamn line of young girl. You can, it's that easy. You can just, But I know I've heard people in my personal life say, I'm thinking about getting the boob job and just being an Instagram model. And I'm like, I guess, but so imagine, and this motherfucker is not. And this ain't no new. This motherfucker is mine with a little, probably about a year or two younger than me. This motherfucker's from my era. And still intrigued, or I don't know what to say, I guess it's a hustle, whatever. So everybody, looking for a way to get some money and shit, or just escape. But this ain't no motherfucker. This motherfucker got jobs, they ain't got no felon, none of this shit. This is straight up, just like, well, that might be an easier alternative. That's how you think that, or whatever. Probably want to shit now, I don't know. But so this motherfucker can be that influenced, somebody that came from an era where none of this shit even existed. Imagine them fucking little girls just growing up like this, who all, since they've been 6 and 7, been glued to a phone and shit, and then grow up. And so you have to be whatever balance or whatever we did, whether it be consciously or subconsciously in the 90s and 80s, whatever, 90s, that's when I'm speaking about the girls in particular, but the niggas, our shit was more so with the violence and drugs and shit. We have to have a balance. Hey man, we do this, but it comes with this, so don't just follow us and all that shit, whatever. Whatever we was doing in the 90s to kind of balance that shit, whether it be consciously or subconsciously, you have to do more of that shit now because it's more. Man, it ain't just about rappers. You got motherfuckers that just straight up don't have no talent outside of that. They get on the internet and they brag about it. Women, they brag about it via the music. I mean, the female artists, they brag about it via the music. But at least with that, the girl might pick and choose and say, well, I don't want to be having to, fuck with all these different guys just so I can get off and get some bread by selling my pussy and have to deal with all these different personalities. Maybe I can do what she's doing and not do that, but I can just do the rap part and don't have to necessarily run around here and put a price tag on my ass or some shit. just straight up, that's all they do, and then they get online, and that's they. Not only do they do that, they further perpetuate it by getting paid to go on podcasts and shit to talk about that. You're getting paid to do the shit, and then niggas, half these niggas probably don't even give a. Probably calling you on their podcast just to see if they can try to fuck. They don't give a damn. Well, I might get me a piece. They be calling. Tell me, how much do you charge to lick earlobes again? Well, I used to charge. None of my minds. It's all kind of weird. You gotta understand the world's been filled with weirdos. So imagine how many niggas are using this shit to express their weirdoism or get off of their weirdo tendencies. So he got a bitch on here who's gonna be influencing a whole lot of other girls, who there may be 100 girls influenced to do what she's doing, but really it's only 30 built for it. The other 70 gonna find out that they wasn't built for it the hard way and be somewhere crying or, oh my God, fuck the college, I wish I would have did something else. Oh, I got kids now, my ass is all home. The only fans. Then you got the motherfuckers that came down here really for that, and that's really about that life, who know how to, who, pretty built for that. So when they career over, it's like, okay, well, man, I got its ups and downs, but I can live with it. You got some motherfuckers who it's gonna be hard for them to live with. They'll be looking back, oh my God, my granddaughter's gonna see my asshole on Instagram, fucking OnlyFans and shit. All this whole shit. The whole wives wasn't even built for the shit, but you sitting there watching the newest Instagram sensation, thinking you made for that. When if she would have, but you smart enough to be able to, you made me smart enough to pick up on the fact that you're not built for it. If this motherfucker would have put more emphasis on saying, hey, look, man, don't necessarily follow me because I'm doing it like this. I mean, if you feel in your heart, that's what you want to do. That's one thing. But this shit comes with this and that. Later on down the line, you might not this, that. These are the things you have to think about. If goddamn 14 and 15 and 16-year-old motherfucking kids are not that goddamn forward thinking. I was personally, but everybody's not like me. But the average fucking 14, 15, 16, they're not that forward. They're not thinking. They're more immediate, especially right now. We live in the age of instant gratification. So a lot of motherfuckers are not thinking, oh, man, if you do sit there and think like, well, I'll be able to stomach this shit 20 years down the line and explain to my kids, hey, I went this route, that if they bump into it, don't do that. If you do, this is what comes with it. Be ready for that. This, whatever. We don't, these motherfuckers. So that's all I be saying. Because like I said, I'm not totally slamming a hammer on them because some people, even when you start to do, you get to where you need to be spiritually in your spiritual studies, you can find out that even that has a place in society. Yes, it does. I'd be doing you a disservice. That's why when you go to Vegas, the shit is legal or whatever. But I'd be lying to you if I said and told you that it was just all bad. But I'd be lying to you if I told you it was all good. It all comes down to whether or not you were made for that. Some people, believe it or not, some people were born come do that for whatever reason. You have deities that protect that shit. Even when you look at a lot of these goddamn strippers and shit now. Yeah, you looking at the ass and titties. You look at some of the tattoos these motherfuckers be having. Like, I know spiritual symbolism and shit. A lot of them motherfuckers be having shit on that's spiritual. So you know, oh, well, you might be a square chick talking about that bitch. She's fucking up the community. But this motherfucker knows some shit, and you are on the church Sunday. Yeah. So, but they was talking about that on the podcast, and the guy was like, I don't even remember what the fuck. Like I said, so much. We get bombarded with so much shit, and between my own studies and shit, and all the shit I do tune into, there's be so much shit. I don't even remember where this shit came from. I just remember what podcast it was, but the nigga was like, he was like, yeah, but it was this one old school chick from back in the game who was real raunchy with before Kim and all them, you know, Kim and them catch a little black, but it was this one chick from like the 80s or 70s or some shit. I knew he didn't remember. I knew he also he talking about Millie Jackson because Millie Jackson the motherfucker. Oof, I ain't gonna lie. She got on Instagram. Millie Jackson. That Millie Jackson was she was a bad yellow hammer. Yeah, bad now. Whatever we call him down south, yellow hammer. Bad motherfucker, man. But she talked that shit too. That raunchy. Yeah. Before Kim and all of them. She was one of the drop in the bucket. But Millie Jackson was a bad motherfucker. Boy, you lined up. You know, you put that shit on. You know, you put, even if you take a nigga my age, because a lot of people my age don't even know. Some of my homeboys probably don't know who the fuck Millie Jackson is. I'm in the music like that. But I bet you if I was to go get one of my partners who don't know about Millie Jackson, he jump in the car with a nigga and I put that bitch on, and the song come on. Now the music, when you hear the music, you're like, oh, this some old school shit, you know. And so you be like, and then when she gets to talking, nigga be like, what the fuck is this? Because we don't, you know, for the most part, you don't hear a lot of the old school female artists. Millie Jackson, I think she like following the blues or something like that. But you don't hear a lot of that raunchiness the way she was talking. You hear the sexy talking shit, but this nigga was that Millie Jackson. You be like, God damn, this like porn on wax. Damn, that was kind of I don't want to over exaggerate, but yeah. But yeah, man. But I was thinking about Millie Jackson before I started that last video. And then somehow I ended up on Joe Jackson. Then come find out it's his nigga birthday, so I might need to light a candle or some shit, see if this nigga coming through or it's just coincidence or whatever. Cause you know yeah, but I don't know how I'm finna go with that. That's why I wish I had more. I'll save that. I got some more shit I want to talk about, but I think I'll wait because I did enough. 20 minutes in, I did enough of that. But let me get back to the goddamn. But let me make sure I close out that portion with what I was saying. But what I was trying to say is back to Joe Jackson. The nigga that played Joe Jackson, your next role, you need to be, you know, cuddling kittens and baking muffins or some shit. You know, sometimes the roles just stick to you. So you see this nigga be like, you have to remind yourself, just like I was in the break, you know, and I said, I know better. Even with everything I'm telling you right now, in these last two segments, even I would have to remind myself if I saw that nigga. I have to probably keep reminding myself that was just movies, Sam. It was just movies because he didn't play so many fucking fucked up roles. You be like, I don't like this guy. That's not real. I don't want you to see this. He might watch this. I don't know who watches this shit, but I don't have an against you, bro. This is jokes for real, but I'm just trying to say, you know, I know better shit than that. But you have people out there who don't know better shit than that. You never know. He might, you know, be somewhere and, but anyway, let me not too deep with it. But yeah, the shout out to him. I can't remember the nigga name. I can't remember the nigga name. I never knew his name, honestly. I just know he's that guy that's always doing some foul shit in the movie. You know, no disrespect, man, but I'm just trying to illustrate a point. I don't even know how the fuck we got them. You know, I know from the last video we bridging over, but oh yeah, we was talking about the why we be so that when niggas was when niggas be doing them feminine, playing them roles where you can tell they're being exploited. There's one thing, like I say, Martin and you see certain niggas when they dress up like Big Mama House and all that shit. That's just comedy. That ain't no fucking. We don't look at that, but certain shit be you be like, they're trying something right. Then there's some shit like like when Martin would play Sinead and shit like that. You're not looking at that like, oh, they're in feminine. It's like, no, that's probably some shit Martin. That probably was his idea just out of comedy. Then you see some shit, you be like, that's some crackers. That was a cracker idea. They doing it to him, but there's a difference. So anyway, man, let me get back to this. So people being rejected by their parents, yeah. So that's what I was saying about the Pepper Later guy. I was saying, to get back to him with the kid thing. I was telling you about the Pepper thing and all that. You will hear what he was saying how basically what I came to what he was saying about how all the kids, a lot of the kids that would come and be a part of his house or whatever. And I'm paraphrasing, but he was saying that they would basically seeking for what they were lack, the love they were lacking, or failing to get from their parents through him. This is how the guys who would be considered the mothers of the house or the mothers. And that's when you hear them. See, that's when you hear them, that queen mother shit. That's now that's really just became a thing within the last past 10, 15 years, as far as mainstream. Without that thing, growing up, I never heard people say that shit, but it always was a thing. It just basically came to the mainstream, I suppose. But I'm so quite sure it comes from this though. When you hear people say Queen Mother, they think that the Queen Mother thing or whatever was first of all, when they say mother with a V, that's probably came from that House of Venus thing or whatever, or a house that was ran by or that came from if I had to guess, a Spanish house or some, because mother, when you said with a V, that's more like, it sounds like it has a Spanish thing to it or whatever. What I noticed about that was to this day you still have although it might not be in regards to how you still see it on Instagram or social media where women are I guess gay men or whatever, they refer to their favorite celebrities or maybe even some hot social media sensation. You will see them under the comments calling that person mama or mother or some shit like that. Ooh, ooh. Now, coming from follow me where I'm going with this shit. Now, one hand, spiritually speaking, it takes a village. We take it back to the African shit. And we take it back to Max. The land of many mothers. Just like it's a land of many fathers. When when you look at Mad Max, you got the land of many mothers. But that's just the mother aspect, the feminine aspect. There's a land of many fathers too. The father's father, you have your father, mother and father, who's your biological mother and father, and then you have people who may come before you in certain areas of life that you would look at as a father to you. Or spiritual fathers or whatever. I'll give you one for example. Take I we go in there with this one. This is a good one right here. I've been waiting for not waiting, but I figured this out about 2 years ago, but I never spoke on it. But this is probably why this is a good example right here. This is a spiritual thing too. Take Muddy Waters and Lil Walter. Muddy Waters was Lil Walter's spiritual father. And you'd be like, how? Well, for one, because he's older than him, he's in the music profession, and he's guiding. So father could be, you can get it the father, or a father, teacher, guide, same thing. Somebody that, or like Mr. Miyagi would be Danielson's karate father. Or whatever, not as or whatnot. Or you could look at somebody like Bobby and say Bobby was my spiritual father because I learned a lot from him. He came before me, so a lot of shit I learned from him. I learned a lot from him. You know what I'm saying? He incorporated a lot from him, whatever. So you can look at it like that. So same thing with the women and shit. Say like a Frances Chris Wilson, I could look at her and say that's one of my spiritual mothers because she changed my life just by reading Ice's papers. So we understand that lane. That's one thing. I want to put emphasis on that because every time when I be thinking about the movie Mad Max, and they said the land of many mothers, which on one hand I can't have too much of a gripe with because there is a thing even though Cyrus has the two chicks on the side of him, then you have when you start doing research, you find about a lot of deities that are the multi-mamas of the many mothers, which is really just a reference to the vastness of space or the big mother or whatever, however you want to put it. But the many mothers are just basically the many versions of Isis. But just like if you say the many fathers would be, I give you another one. With me and Pac, even though by him being older than me and us being a part of the struggle of trying to lift up our people, he came before me in that. Even though by the time, now I'm not trying to make toot my own horn, but even though by the time I turned 13, 14, I was pretty much on the same level as Pac. As a matter of fact, a lot of shit he did, a lot of him, that's my nigga. Love him like I knew him, like I walked beside him in his lifetime. But even though a lot of the immature shit he did, I would have done at the time. I mean, he did, even though I was younger than him, it's a lot of shit that I would have been told him, hey man, you think I'm, look, that's why this nigga here would tell you, if she was still alive, she would tell you, this was when I came home from jail, she said, nigga, you always were the most mature nigga out of everybody from the hood or whatnot. And I'm paraphrasing, she said, I always looked at you as you was the youngest, but mentally you was beyond all of them. And I ain't trying to put them niggas down on this shit. I'm telling you what Big Sis said. So, and she loves Pac. That's her nigga. So I'm telling you this, but despite all that, I'd be doing you a disservice if I told you that he was he played a big part in guiding me. Despite everything I just told you, he first of all was older than me, so he came before me in his lifetime. I have this person on that because, like I say, spiritually speaking, I'm the OG of all this shit. Don't let nobody fool you. I don't even like. I don't like saying it, but it's because we live in a world where you say some shit like that, you can't. It's smaller shit you say, niggas. He's not humble. And this guy, his head is big. It's like, no, I'm not finna lie just to soothe your fucking whatever the fuck whatever it is inside of you that may, or you may not be, whatever the fuck hurts you by me saying that or makes you feel offended by me saying that, I don't know what to tell you, because based off of spiritual shit, I need in the spirit realm, I can tell you that's 100. But just off my fucking studies too, I say that's why I'm separated too. Cause the spiritual shit I did was practical shit. I was on the other side of the game type shit, where niggas really owe me a motherfucking fucking thank you, really. When really I heard it on the other side. But if you knew what the fuck I did, you'd say, that cash out probably would have. This ain't about the money. I don't want to make it. Really, I don't want you for. If I didn't need the shit, if I didn't feel like, hey, maybe I need to fucking put that cash out before I fuck around and don't have no water to drink around this bitch, so I have to drink faucet water. But anyway, I'm saying it to say, Pac never had no kids. This is some spiritual shit too. Just like I told you about the Apocalypse X-Men shit. This is another one of them moments. And it ain't no shit he did consciously. I don't know what the fuck but one thing I know about a lot of shit Pac did, a lot of shit was channeled. I listened to a lot of shit. He would write rhymes and shit from not just the perspective of his life, but he would, just like he's an actor, he would write, you could tell when he would write certain shit he would write from the perspective of somebody he may have knew, but I could tell that sometimes when he wrote rhymes, he would write, like the nigga say, my baby mama got a mind full of sick games, but Pac never had no fucking kids. Unless you want to tell me something I don't know. So you'd be like, well, where the fuck is that coming from? That's either him putting himself in the shoes, because he was an actor, so he already done this type of shit if he acted. But either he was putting himself in the shoes of other people vicariously, or that rhyme, he may have been talking to somebody who's going through baby mama issues and was the mouthpiece for them via his art or whatever. But that nigga say my son's getting older and older and old for having the world on his shoulders. This is that. The world, this would be the shoulders. And he's holding the fucking world up. Just like I told you that this year, you ever see that picture of it's like an old statue or some shit, a classic picture or some shit, but you'll see a statue with a nigga like this, he'd be standing on one leg and the other leg would be lifted out, and he had an earth on his shoulders or whatever. That shit comes from this. So even I would look at him as like a forefather to me, because even though I was advanced in my age, he still came before me, and he still a lot of the shit that made me who I am is as well as others too, but a lot of the shit that he did and said played a part in me being as great as I feel like I am, or as I know I am. Fuck the dumb shit. I ain't got time for that. You know, I'm humble by nature. Super humble. Niggas think you ain't shit. Niggas try to run you over and shit. Play with your head top, as they say today. Fuck that shit. I learned my lesson about that shit. Fuck these niggas. I love you, but fuck you too. Whatever you want, whatever road you want to go down. I know when I do this shit, I'm not coming from a place where we all got a little ego and shit, egotism, and I don't give a fuck if everybody, no ego hit your ass, beat down around here. Too much ego run the spirit out, but not enough ego, and niggas, you know, niggas think. That's why I said what I said on Instagram the other day, because I be feeling like sometimes some of the shit people be saying, I be like, hold up, bro. I don't think you know who the fuck you talking to. And it's why I'm always feel like that. I'm a humble nigga, but at the same time, fuck that shit, bro. Because niggas anyway. But Little Walter, so you say, well, where you going with this, Sam? Well, the L and the fucking R. Muddy Water, Little Walter. If you take that that L and Walter and turn it into an R. Shout out to my Uncle Walter too. But if you take that L, that nigga was one of the coolest niggas ever, man. Goddamn Uncle Walter. That nigga was one of the last Jerry Curl juice trippers. It was probably him and Easy, but they died around the same time. But you know, he was into that macadocious type shit. You know, them niggas was pimping and shit, selling drugs. You know, I come from a family that shit. But anyway, but I always think about that nigga when I hear the name Walter. They're the coolest nigga named Walter I ever personally really. I don't even think I ever met another motherfucker named Walter. You know, I guess that name played out by the time we started growing up. But anyway, if you take the L and turn it into an R, that'll be Water, water. So it's water, and then you got Muddy Waters, which would be Water, but water, same shit. I was looking at this and I'm like, no wonder them niggas. That's why them niggas linked up. So them niggas it was more than just it was music and shit, but it's a spiritual connection too. That's why when I learned some shit that wasn't. I learned they kind of did some, as they always do in movies, but I learned that they did some exaggerating in the Selena movie and shit. That kind of fucked me up a little bit right there. Not major, but I found out some shit, but I made me say, hold up, let me slow down. Shout out to the Quintanilla family, man. But when you go back to the when and I'm quite sure it's based off of, it might not happen exactly like this, but I'm quite sure it's based off of the sentiment that he really had for Lil Walter. But when shit, man, you fucking me up. I love them niggas. Based off that movie. But when the pardon when Lil Walter died, the part about Muddy Waters that fucked him up so much. We don't know what the fuck he did when he went in the house, but he probably did throw up and all that shit and felt like somebody took his guitar or whatever his wife had said. them niggas, they had a spiritual connection. It was more than just, just the music thing or whatever. Like I say, Little Walter, Muddy Water. But so shout out to them guys, man. Big shout out, cause them niggas is like I say, and people within the blues and rock and roll, period, can look at them niggas as like forefathers. Because you got them, then you got Chuck Berry, of course, Little Richie, shout out to Little Richie, all the guys, because this is a thing. When Little Richie said he started, but it was Chuck Berry, or it was, but Muddy Waters and Little Walter was more so the blues, but they say that the you've seen the move Rolling Stone, as well as I'm quite sure a lot of other groups in Europe or whatever, because over there they respect us more than we respect each other here. And go back to what I was telling y'all about, see, that shit goes back to what I was telling y'all about, let me close the point out first and I'll get to that. But even the all rock and rollers can look at, or we'll just say, those would be forefathers, or one of the many fathers of the guys that came after them and played the blues. Just like Chuck Berry, which the blues, which just like Chuck Berry and Little Richie, then would be the forefathers of the forefathers of rock and rollers. Or like with me, it would be like, with the rap thing, it would be like, all the cats that came before me that I dig or whatever. But it'd be the forefathers of hip hop or whatever. The Millie Mills and Sugar Hill Gang and all that. Those guys like that right there. That would be our forefathers. Even though Big Bang Hank stole rhymes and shit, I did always. Every time I think of Sugar Hill Gang, I love them niggas, but I be like, that nigga was wrong for that. But I don't. I'm a patron of the art, so even though the song was good for. It just fucks me up. He fucked the legacy up. I fucked it up all the way, but Sugar Hill Gang is legendary in their own right. Don't get me wrong. They went through shit. Wonder Mike, Charlotte niggas. That's one of the dopest names ever. About Wonder Mike. Yeah, I'm big on names and shit. I think a name is more important than a motherfucker. That's why I be looking at people now. They don't even let them up. His motherfuckers. They taking names from motherfuckers who's still around and you ain't even remixing it. And I'd be like, God damn, bro. This nigga still got that name. You could at least put a twist on it. You put names. Names are a big thing. But Wonder Mike, I love that name. That's a hell of a name. So shout out to them. It just once I found out that nigga stole that verse, it just fucks the thing up. Cause I'm a patron of the art, so the first thing I think of is how I would feel if a nigga stole a verse from me. I'm fucked up. I'm a decent. Like I said, I'm not a stupid nigga like these young niggas running around shoot 'em up, bang bang. I'm gangster and shit, but I got a little more coof about myself. But and what you see today, these niggas make that shit look so bad today. You damn near be like, I'm not a gangster. Everybody got their own definitions of shit too, so that's why some niggas be like, you ain't no gangster. Like, well, maybe not by your definition, but I know a thing, and that's a thing, and maybe one day I'll share that with you, but I can tell you where that thing comes from, but that's spiritual. Oh yes. But anyway, it's just something about a nigga stealing something from me when it comes to music. It's kind of like that showboat thing. You can cost my mama, I take my money, don't take my money. It's kind of like that thing. That fucking that music. It's like, boy, but no, you gonna cuss my mama out, right? That's different from the movie and shit. But it's kind of like that thing. I know pretty much how to say, yeah, whatever. I don't know. It's something about that music. Because that's why I don't be wanting to post none of my beat. I be wanting to. I'm thinking about. I'm gonna have to make something particularly for that. But I was gonna say I'm thinking about making me a themes like a little beat that not it won't be no rhyme and nothing. It'll just be a beat. But think about making me a beat that have me a little theme music for this, for these videos. But other than that, that's why I don't be. I be having shit I be wanting people to hear, but I be like, nah, because the moment I feel like I hear some shit, and I feel like a nigga stole my shit, I'm gonna be through the roof. Like I'm a calm, I'm a slow anger type of guy. But when it comes to rhymes and shit, still in my, I'm fucked up about that shit. Like I be ready to fight for real. I ain't gonna lie, I be lying. That's kind of why I was when them girls made that song, and then the bigger group took the damn song. Even though I don't know them other girls, and now I don't necessarily know them enough to have a real dog in a fight. I just as a patron of the art, that just it rubbed me the wrong way. Yeah, that's why that nigga's still around. I don't like, and these niggas, because niggas is stealing a lot of shit right now. Or have been stealing a lot of shit you hear and see. These bitch ass niggas, some, let me put it like this, some do it. Everybody balls for somebody to some degree or whatever. That's one. It's not what you do, it's how you do it. Some of these niggas, I'm not a fan of. Now, some people I inspire, and it might be a way of shouting a nigga out, and that's cool and shit. But some niggas be like I said, it's about how you do it or whatever. How the fuck we come to that? Father thing, but yeah. Anyway, Big Bang fucked me up with that one. Try for him though, but that's age old shit. But man, that ain't good. I probably just wanted to fight, but and I know that's petty fighting over, that man. Because even by my standards, that's almost like some petty shit to be fighting over. But that must be where I'm not a petty guy for the most part, but I guess we all have a petty bone here. That might be my petty bone. Yeah, this is something about that music, bro. I love it, but I don't like a nigga stealing from me when it comes to rapping and shit, bro. It's one thing. Like now, if I make some shit now and then 15 years down the line, because we all do the pay homage by. You might start your song off, have a line in there where you take something from somebody else. You're not necessarily taking it. It's you're paying homage and shit. But it's how you do it though. Now you take a nigga shit and try to mix it in like it's yours, and and it ain't obvious because for certain shit it's just obvious. You can be like, hey, he biting, but it's like, man, come on, everybody knows who that comes from. So evidently he has to be just some paying homage. You got to be careful with this shit, but it's just how I see it. But to take it back to the Queen Mother thing, I see that a lot with the girl, with the girls, not with the dudes, because we built different. But with the girls, you see them under a lot of the comments calling these women who may be the same fucking age as them, mother and all this shit, and each his own. But that to me, now with the houses thing, that's one thing. I'm telling you what that probably stemmed from. people feeling like motherless and fatherless or parentless children and find themselves in the gay street gangs, aka houses. They said it, I didn't. In receiving the nourishment and the love that they wasn't getting home from these people. I mean, from the leaders of these houses or whatever. And I can come in and understand that. So that's not, I don't have no problem with that. I don't have a problem with it, each his own, but I can understand it. I would say that much. But like when I see the stuff that I be seeing under these Instagram things, I don't have a problem with that either. But it makes me think to myself like, you know, 'cause that's a big thing. You know, in nigga world, even in your house, we all, at least when I was born, you know, this is the thing. You might have it might be a couple, they might have a kid together. They might split up. The woman might find her a new dude, or the dude might find him a new girl. And you know, most of the motherfucking time, this was the thing when I was growing up. It was the thing where it was like, hey, you know, the dad might, you know, the daddy might, you know, when the mother finally found her a new dude or some shit, and it's time to send a baby girl or junior over there to spend the weekend with mama or whatever, have it work, and vice versa. You know the fucking drill for the most part. Hey, don't you over there calling that nigga daddy. You know, call that nigga Jimmy Dean or whatever the fuck that nigga, Mr. Jimmy. You over there calling that nigga daddy. You know that's how, for the most part, it's got the exception. You niggas know that's how, and just like with the mama, hey, don't be calling her no fucking mama. You got one mama, goddammit. Don't do that. You know that's a thing. Now, different strokes for different folks. Some people don't got no problem with it. As a matter of fact, I think there was a topic not too long ago. They was talking about on some podcasts or shows, some shit. I think it just popped in my head, bang. But you know, in the black fucking world now, with white people, they're a little bit more liberal than us. So, you know, that's all right, you know, I got two mothers and all that stuff. So, you know, niggas, we don't pay that shit. Don't you over there calling that nigga daddy. You call that nigga Willie Earl, Mr. Willie Earl. You don't call that nigga no fucking daddy. So when I see these girls in the fucking under the, I don't even know. So I be laughing at my own jokes. It's like, this shit is funny to me. Y'all niggas might be thinking like, he's doing too much. This funny shit to me. But when I see these girls with that fucking on the Instagram post, you know, I like to ponder on shit. So I'm like, and I can't make the comparison because, you know, men are different. That's girl shit. You know, that's girl. And as a man, I'm not getting into no nigga post like, don't give a fuck how good you rap or how good. I'm like, oh, father, daddy. Nah, not like, you know, now within a context, I can say, well, you know, Bobby is a spiritual father because he came before me. I learned a lot, and I feel like, you know, a lot of the shit I know, you know, I learned from him. You know, I can say it like that, but I'm not getting with the way the girls do it with the women. Oh, mother, or even with couples and shit. Oh, mother and daddy. So I'm like, y'all must got parent issues, and I'm not saying it to be funny, but it makes me think that somewhere down the line, or something is maybe it's something. Even if they do stay with, even if it isn't severe as, you know, the kids from that they speaking about in this documentary who get kicked out of the house or catch so much flack at home they run away because their parents don't love them no more, no shit like that, some shit. Even if it ain't to that degree, it has to be something going on. Excuse me, like the fucking heat goes now. There has to be something. It has to be something going on, there has to be some type of conflict between or something ain't all the way clicking right, even if it's on a too subtle level for both parties involved, meaning the parent and the child. Excuse me, the child to see. Or has to be something going on for these goddamn girls to be up under these goddamn posts calling these people. And I ain't talking about no fucking spiritual mother, but it's just fucking socialites there under the, socialites. But these motherfuckers ain't teaching no goddamn life skills, no shit like that. They just fucking pop. A lot of them popular for nothing. They just popular for looking good. Beauty is skin deep. That's surface level shit. I would be offended if I was a black woman and I had a daughter, especially if if I took care of my daughter and I put my best foot forward in raising her and not only being a good mother, but a fucking friend too. Because I heard some shit the other day too. Stupid niggas still talking to. You're not supposed to be your friend. You're supposed to be your fucking mother, friend, all that shit. Not a friend to the point where you jumping rope in the street with him and shit. But what do you want to say? And I am a common servant. Don't get me twisted. I like giving niggas props, showing love to people under their comments, and all the guys being it. I like to. I think it's pretty dope to come from an era where pretty much you just went to the concerts, seen them on TV. Now I ain't writing no goddamn. Now I'm never no fan meal ass nigga. Now that's just too much. I'm not going to fucking stamps and dear Heavy D. I really love that last album. Not going all that shit. But people did that. That's their thing. Pac, that last album was dope. I hope you write me back. I know this is one in the 5 million letters, but maybe this is going to be special and some shit like that. I'm not doing all that dumb. I'm not gonna say dumb shit. I don't disrespect nobody. I ain't doing all that shit, but but the come from era where the closest you got to what we doing now is that pretty much. You know what I'm saying? Or you go to a in-store or whatever, you get all that rap, and even that ain't, even that's gonna be short and dry. Man, you're a big inspiration to me, man. Yeah, thank you, man. Keep it up. By the next time, here you go. Come on, let's get this shit. Niggas, how the fucking niggas be. We went to an election one time. And when the election was over, I went to the like I say, I'm conscious of all this shit, so it ain't like I'm thinking to be for me. I'm gonna sit here and have a 45-minute conversation with the nigga. But when I walked up to the nigga, I was gonna ask him. I don't even remember what I ain't gonna say who it is. He's a well-known figure, within the country room, whatever. But I had a picture with the nigga too. I don't even know what the fuck happened to it. I would go holler at him, and I'm finna, I just really had one question I want to ask the nigga, and I think I asked him the nigga. I don't want to make it further from all. I want to make it like he did something wrong or I was offended, because I understand you got other people trying to talk to you and shit, and you got things on your mind, and and I ain't the only motherfucker that's, so I understand. So I'm not. I'm just telling the shit because it's funny to me, I went and asked the nigga, forgot how to figure out how this shit happened. I asked the nigga something. I can't remember what it was, but the long story short, I felt like the nigga kind of blew me off a little bit. Pause. I can't remember what the fuck happened, but the nigga was like, I think he hit me with like a one-liner or something, like, no, that's what it was. I think I asked the nigga something, and he replied. I can't remember how it went, but I wasn't through talking. I was like, yeah, bro, because I was going into something else. I was like, cause I'm a 5%er, and Bob, I was finna tell the nigga some other shit, and he was like, man, when I told him that, he was like, and now when I think about it, I don't think he's one of the niggas that ain't that fond of the gods and earth. But he didn't disrespect me and everything. But he was like, he kind of hit me with a one. I was like, man, upgrade it, just upgrade it. And really, I'm already on some advanced shit, honestly. So he was all, I'm looking at the nigga like, not tripping. Really, I'm more so laughing because I'm like, oh, he think I'm just like he think I'm just a little grunt or some shit. And I'm like, nah, I really just wanted to come up and holler and just see how you felt about something, whatever. Because I've been watching his videos and shit, or watching his videos and shit, whatever. But then when I told him, because I was told him about the 5%er, but I was trying to go into another spiel, not staying all day with the nigga, but I was like, yeah, but he didn't let me finish. That's what it was. That's why I felt like he kind of blew me out because he kind of cut me out. I was like, yo, because I'm a 5%er. Then when I said that shit, the nigga was like, well, you gotta upgrade it. Or you say, build this upgrade on it. You gotta upgrade it. He said some old shit, and I was like, I'm past all that shit, bro. You didn't let me finish. I was trying to not tell him something, but I can't remember exactly what the fuck it was, but it was like, I can't remember, but the nigga, I'm just telling this shit because it was funny to me. I understood what was going on, but I wasn't tripping up because I could understand where he come from. He still, that it is. But I was like, he think I'm just, you think I'm one of those. Well, not one of those, I don't make it say one of those like that, but he think, I could tell he thought it was like, I'm like, I could tell he kind of probably looked at me like lesser than what I really was. I'm like, really, I'm looking at nigga like, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I could have stayed home and watched Bobby Hemming lectures and got more shit out of this shit. This little hour shit you done did, which really you didn't do nothing to say. The bunch of shit I already knew. But, whatever. But I ain't gonna say no name, but shout out to that nigga there though, man. That boy now, he do his thing, man, as far as trying to, I give him, his dedication to the liberation of niggas. I respect that much about him. No problem with him, no shit, but, well, yeah, I do got a problem when I think about it. Nigga was talking shit about Bobby one time. This is after this. Forgot about that, yeah. So, yeah, but I said that in my mind. Cause I say, not tripping. I wasn't mad, but like I said, this is what being. When I tell you this shit about being one, everybody being one, and having a oneness. When you up that mentality, you can pretty much. It makes it easier for you to gauge how motherfucker is viewing you as well. So, cause I put even though I may not be like him, but being a master empathist, I guess you can say, I took how he dealt with me and put myself in his shoes and said, he might think I'm just, he probably deal with so many people that may be, looking up to him. I'm not looking up to the nigga like, I'm really, I feel like peer to peer. I didn't even look at the nigga like, I really feel that we gotta put shit on the scale. I really feel over the nigga. I'm just going to have a, you know, chop it up with him for about 2 or 3 minutes. To be honest with you, that we want to be real. That's why the whole thing was kind of funny to me. I was like, oh, he probably think I'm one of his fans or something, one of his, like, you know, loyal followers or some shit. I'm like, nah, I'm more, like I said, I'd be lying if I said peer-to-peer, because my information was way more advanced than this nigga. The shit I was on, I'm really, he's like a step down. Like, I thought, yo, that shit. I'm already dealing with magic and shit. He ain't even into that realm yet, you know. So I'm like, okay, bro. This is how y'all funny life be. Yeah, then this nigga, about 2 or 3 years later, this nigga is online talking shit about Bobby. You know, that's blasphemy in my world. Like, what, nigga? I ain't no goddamn, you know, Bobby family's own this shit, but that's a nigga that don't, once you, it's certain shit you can do. We all have our own walks of life and views, but you can gauge what a nigga at spiritually by certain shit he say, or certain people he don't get. And I'm looking at this nigga like, now you dissing Bobby, man, I know you ain't on shit, because if anybody that's really, even if you don't agree with everything you say, if you really say real, recognize real, if you really spiritual, if you really on your shit, you at least be like, say, well, I don't agree with everything Bobby say, but he, overall, he's on the right path and shit. But, you know, there's certain shit I don't agree with him. Like all that, you know, the world all winning shit, and I'm thinking, nah, Bobby, that ain't it. That's my personal thing. Like, the black woman is over the black man, but then even that, he's so sorry, so he don't even get stuck in that shit. You hear him one lecture saying that shit, another lecture, like, we all even, it ain't no, you know, 2 weeks later, he might be, well, you know, that goddamn black woman just, that's the authority over us. And I mean, no, he want to do shit again, in my opinion. But you know, that's what comes with the game. That's what this shit comes with. When you see a nigga doing that, you might say, oh, you don't know what the fuck he talking about, he contradicting this. And it's like, no, he's taking you through a journey of, because that's what you, even when you at home or wherever you at, figuring shit out through your studies, that's how this shit going. He's just bold enough to do it in front of you. Most people won't even have the fucking, or too scared to change their mind right in front of your face and then change it back. But that shows you that that's a motherfucker that's really researching the shit, because that's how that shit be when you doing this shit. When you finding shit out on your own, you be like, 1 minute you be like, well, I think it's this. You might read some shit 2 weeks later, now, you know what, I was wrong about that the other day. But, that shows that you are dedicated to the actual study, as opposed to just being dedicated to always fucking trying to be right. When you can say something today and then say something that contradicts this shit 2 weeks later in the lecture, which implies that you were wrong, or you be, without saying I was wrong, because it's implying it when you say that. That's not just being a contradiction, it's showing you a nigga that's out there. And then he go back to this, that show you a nigga that's trying to figure it out, as opposed to saying, okay, well, since I told you this shit last week, I don't want you to look at me like I'm capable of being wrong, or I'm invalid, or I'm beyond being wrong. So I'm not gonna tell you that I read some other shit that changed my mind about what I said last week. I'm gonna just stick with that and keep going. You know what, I was thinking this last week, but this week I've seen this, and I don't believe that no more. Oh, but I seen something else this week. That's what comes with this shit. So that'd be a problem with a lot of niggas. That's why a lot of niggas can't step their game up, because they go 5 and 6 years teaching you some shit. Then when they find out they wrong, they don't have the wherewithal, or they be so busy trying to save face, they don't have enough integrity to say, hey man, and them niggas might know in their heart they're wrong. I'm wrong, but I can't let them know I was wrong, so I'm gonna just live with according to the truth I know, but I'm gonna keep lying to him. Not saying that's what this guy did, but I'm just, anyway, man.